This week in Jamaica Now, prosecution declares taxi driver in X6 murder case a hostile witness. How the matter turned out in court this week. Second man dies after gas cylinder explodes during illegal operation in Kingston. Public defender standing firm amid strong criticisms over dead baby's report. Main suspect in March Pen massacre charged with 5 counts of murder. And Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump in the third presidential debate. I'm Damian Mitchell and this is Jamaica Now. The high-profile X6 murder trial took an interesting twist on Friday when the prosecution declared taxi driver Wayne Wright a hostile witness and got the permission of the court to treat him accordingly. Wright was on the stand for the second day in the trial of businessman Patrick Powell for the July 2011 murder of schoolboy Kajil Mays. Powell is also on trial for shooting with intent in relation to Wright, the driver of the taxi in which Mays was traveling when he was shot dead allegedly by the driver of a BMW X6 motorcar. On Friday, Wright rejected suggestions by prosecutor Jeremy Taylor that he had told the police he saw the shooter. He also testified that Police Inspector Vernal Thompson had tried to force him to implicate another man called Nigger in the murder of the schoolboy. However, Wright said he would not yield to the policeman's efforts. Wright's insistence forced the prosecution to call for an early adjournment to consider its next move. A second man injured in Sunday's gas cylinder explosion on Jakes Avenue in St. Andrew has died. 3 other people were injured. The fire authorities say it appears that the cylinders were being filled during an illegal operation when a generator overheated and ignited, setting off the explosion. The public defender Arlene Harrison Henry is standing by her findings in the dead babies probe despite criticisms that they are irresponsible and improper. The public defender had concluded that the 8 babies who died at the University Hospital of the West Indies were the unfortunate victims of an under-resourced facility and not the victims of medical negligence.
I stand by my report. We live in a country where our democracy is robust and we have no difficulty with the discussions and the opinions expressed. But we stand by the report.
Marvin Campbell Sr., the main suspect in the massacre of 5 people in March Pen St. Catherine, is to appear in court on November 1. The police say Campbell led gunmen to the house and opened fire, hitting the occupants because they were pursuing a case of rape and incest against him. He has since been charged with those offenses as well as 5 counts of murder. The Kingston College has been left in mourning following the sudden death of a teacher at the school on Tuesday. Economics and accounts teacher Christopher Gale reportedly complained about feeling ill and went to use the restroom. He was later found on the floor. He was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Residents of West Kingston are one step closer to knowing how they will be compensated for the May 2010 police military operation in their communities that left a trail of death and destruction. The government has established a compensation committee to investigate claims of losses arising from the operation in West Kingston. The committee is to be chaired by retired President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Seymour Panton. The government says the committee is to begin its work by month end and will complete the process within 9 months. Former Calabar High School center Vachel Fernandez has signed a contract to play for Miami Heat in this season's NBA competition. The Heat announced the signing of Fernandez on Monday, but did not disclose the terms of the deal due to club policy. The 24-year-old Fernandez, the all-time leading shot blocker at the Valparaiso University, played all 4 seasons with the Crusaders, appearing in 131 games. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, that political debate between Democrat Hillary Clinton and Republican Donald Trump vying for presidency of the United States.
I would hope that the Senate would do its job and confirm the nominee that President Obama has sent to them.
I believe if my opponent should win this race, which I truly don't think will happen, we will have a Second Amendment which will be a very, very small replica of what it is right now. You can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month on the final day and that's not acceptable.
Well, that is not what happens in these cases, and using that kind of scare rhetoric is just terribly unfortunate.
We stop the drugs. We shore up the border. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out. Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America. On the day when I was in the Situation Room monitoring the raid that brought Osama bin Laden to justice, he was hosting the Celebrity Apprentice. So I'm happy to compare my 30 years of experience.
Those stories have been largely debunked. Those people, I don't know those people. I have a feeling how they came. I believe it was her campaign that did it.
He held a number of big rallies where he said that he could not possibly have done those things to those women because they were not attractive enough for them to be assaulted.
I did not say that.
In fact, he went on to say...
Her 2 minutes, sir, her 2 minutes.
But did not say that.
It's her 2 minutes.
Donald thinks belittling women makes him bigger. He goes after their dignity, their self-worth, and I don't think there is a woman anywhere who doesn't know what that feels like.
Nobody has more respect for women than I do. Nobody.
Do you make the same commitment that you will absolutely, sir, that you will absolutely accept the result of this election?
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit
what
to that principle?
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
My Social Security payroll contribution will go up, as will Donald's, assuming he can't figure out how to get out of it. But what we want to do is to replenish the Social Security Trust Fund. So if he repeals it, our Medicare problem gets worse. What we need to do is go after the long-term health care drivers.